This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
I'm Megan Gentile, the current chair of the tech committee, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Hi, I'm Dan LaValle. I emailed you. The company referred me to an article put out, and it had your company listed, your group listed in it, and I was like, oh, let's see what happens. So here we are.
I'm Dan Breen, the resident web nerd. So I don't know what I'll have to contribute to this discussion, but interested anyway.
What is this discussion on?
So I'm going to be, I'll introduce myself with David. David. Okay. My name is Ian Goldsmith. I am a research analyst with the World Resources Institute. I also work with SoulSmart as part of my job. We are a federally funded technical assistance program that helps to help local communities and jurisdictions make solar more accessible for their residents. And so if it's all right, yeah.
Are you talking community solar or, or is it more sort of town solar?
That's actually a great question and a great way to segue into the presentation I have. So let me just get my screen up as long as it's all right.
Did we want to finish introductions?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. We kind of jumped ahead there. David is there.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not on camera yet. I'm helping my son out with a technology issue that is taking top priority right now. But I'll be hopping up in front of my laptop momentarily. But yes, I'm David Rooks. Been part of the tech committee since almost its inception, if not, Dan pushing us over the ledge there. But my background is in telecom, networking, project management, et cetera.
My name is Art Lawrence. I'm a retired electrical engineer. In the old days, used to design disk drives. And I'm a volunteer in the building department at Town Hall. And that's about it.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to meet all of you. Thank you again for reaching out. And yeah, let's get into it with what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go through, I kind of want to, we've already started to get to know each other a little bit, but I might ask a couple more questions. And then I'm going to go into what SoulSmart is, what the benefits of SoulSmart are, how it would help Southampton with promoting solar in the community, and an overview of kind of how we're structured. So I'm just kind of curious, Dan, if you can. You said that you got referred through an article. Is that how? Where did you see us?
Well, so I had there's a local solar company which is now regional, and I had a conversation with them, and he's like, well, I can send you he sent me a bunch of articles to read about solar projects, and one of them was this the energy.gov local government guide to solar deployment, and in there you're mentioned. So
awesome.
That's kind of where Revision is the name of the company, the local company.
Fantastic. And can you talk about a little more? Where did that for Revision? Are you guys like working on a solar project right now, or what's kind of driving your interest in where solar is in Southampton right now?
So we're trying to figure out what the benefits may be. I guess we're so early days in terms of exploring what we could do in terms of reducing the costs to the municipality for powering the town's different buildings, as well as our water pumps seem to use up a lot of electricity. And then there's also the question of are there possibilities to help our citizens be able to have green energy or reduce their cost of energy? Those are some of the ideas. Anybody else want to jump in of other ways we're thinking of applying solar?
Just a quick comment. This is not our first rodeo. We have been involved in the past, part of consortiums and such, getting solar supplied energy into town hall. I think all that work now has run out, and as Dan's saying, we're starting all over again, and hopefully make some progress here.
All right. Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, there's some history there that someday I would love to learn about. We'll have to flush that out somewhere sometime.
Okay. Awesome. Well, as you probably noticed, I was just taking notes. It's helpful for us and to just kind of figure out, where you guys are during, in this process, and doing just a little bit of research on, kind of Southampton, where you guys are. You guys are actually farther along, or at least like more advanced than maybe obvious, in your context, or you might be aware of. So I wanted to highlight that you guys have a lot of language and regulations for solar in your zoning code. We've worked with many communities that don't have anything there. So the fact that you've addressed it and it's there actually is really good. And you also have solar permits and a specific infrastructure for dealing with solar, which not everybody has. So coming from our perspective, we deal with communities that are literally starting from nothing and don't have anything. So you guys are actually in a really great place. Dan,
and we'll take. So I'm on the planning board also. So if you have any advice in terms of modifications we could make to some of our language that may help make it easier for townspeople to get solar, or anything that you may see as a kind of constraining things where we didn't intend to in our wording.
Yes,
that'd be appreciated.
I will get to that in just a bit. That is perfect. So an introduction. So we kind of talked about. I got a little bit of sense of where you are, and so now I want to formally introduce SoulSmart. So SoulSmart is a program funded by DOE. It is administered by ICMA and IREC, Interstate Renewable Energy Council, and the Interstate County Management Association. And they run it. WRI is a technical assistance partner with them. So we work with them to help communities through the program. So we are a designation and technical assistance program designed to help local governments, as well as other types of local jurisdictions, make it faster, easier, and more affordable for residents and businesses to go solar. So basically, in a nutshell, we work with communities to implement certain actions, and we provide them with a designation that recognizes that work that they've taken to address local barriers to solar energy and foster solar markets in their community. And important to say right off the get-go, any technical assistance that SoulSmart provides is free. The only cost on your end is staff or volunteer time. But we will not charge anything except maybe for like shipping for a plaque if you get designated, which I hope that's okay. So just to kind of give some context, so SoulSmart's been around since 2016. We've been funded through 3 presidents at this point. And we have over 500 communities that have been designated through the program, including 20 communities in Massachusetts. I've listed some. I'll explain a little bit later, but here are some examples of communities at different designation levels that we've worked with. But interestingly enough, if Southampton worked with SoulSmart and went through the program, you'd actually be the first community in Western Mass.
I was just thinking of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
which is great. You'd get ahead of Springfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't spent a lot of time in Western Mass, but I've been to.
Oh, you're missing out.
I know it's.
You come and visit. Come and visit.
I would love to.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So so you would be the first community in Western Mass if you went through with it. Now, obviously there are a lot of benefits to solar. I don't think I have to convince you of them. But obviously supports climate and sustainability goals, local, reliable, clean power, reduces utility bills. We know this at this point. But where SoulSmart comes in this process is that we help you guys take actions depending on your local context, depending on what you guys would like, to remove barriers to solar energy growth and make it more possible for residents and businesses, as well as municipalities for their own operations to go solar. Again, no cost technical assistance as well as resources. SoulSmart has developed a lot of resources on various different solar topics, particularly around permitting and zoning that can help you guys implement best practices and make solar more available. We are a Justice 40 covered program, meaning that we do work to we're focused not just on solar, but equity as well within solar, and kind of getting into maybe Dan, kind of something that you were touching on. A lot of our work is a lot of our assistance and guidance is focused on reducing soft costs. So the costs of solar development that are actually unrelated to the real hardware, to the solar panels, to the cells, things that local governments may have control over, including permitting and zoning. So as kind of illustrating the importance and why we do this, we can see here that for some solar systems, you can see over 50% of the average of the cost of a solar PV system can be coming from things that are not the actual hardware itself. That includes permitting and zoning, where local governments have a lot of control over. And so there are different actions that local governments can undertake, including streamlining permitting, supporting consumer education, facilitating group purchasing. And so, there's a really important, even though the solar market, is kind of national and we've seen it growing at a wider level, there's still a lot of things at the local level that can be done to take to make that growth easier and to make it grow even more. And so SoulSmart, in recognizing this and wanting to address the soft cost problem, as well as help local governments achieve their goals, we have created a bunch of criteria, as well as resources based on nationally recognized best practices to encourage solar energy at the local level. We provide guidance and templates through the SoulSmart program to help you guys put these practices into actionable actions. And we've used and this has been developed through smart folks at IREC and ICMA who are really into the weeds with things like permitting and planning and zoning, who really know what they're talking about and know what actions and are necessary to make solar to promote solar in the community. And so this slide provides some examples of some actions. Generally, these are kind of good. These are kind of good themes that we SoulSmart types to promote. We want to increase transparency in processes that already exist that you may have at the local level. We want to increase understanding of best practices among local government staff. We want to reduce barriers for folks who are looking to get solar PV, and expand access, whether directly through group purchasing or maybe at a wider, less direct level through things like community engagement or educational opportunities. And again, reiterating, we provide technical assistance. We will help you through. We don't just drop resources and go. We will help you with all of these actions, put them in context, work with you to figure out what might be best for your community, and we can tailor this technical assistance to you, however you would like it. Again, this is no cost to you guys. All that you would have to commit to is staff time to working towards SoulSmart designation. And we require that you guys sign a commitment letter saying that you will work towards achieving a designation. But there's no cost to you guys. So before I kind of go on, I want to stop and just see if there are any questions so far. From now now I'll be going into a little bit more of the structure of the program. But before I go on, I'm curious if anybody wants to hear anything more, or if people have questions.
I have a question. So what if I was like Art, who lives in a very house that has very little sunlight, but he wants to have solar on his house, or wants to be able to use solar energy? Are there ways that we can help him?
So the SoulSmart program is focused more on actions that local governments can undertake in order to promote solar access in their community. And, that could include, pointing you in the right direction towards community solar development, or seeing what is available in the for you guys. But SoulSmart doesn't really work on individual installations, or we don't do design consultations. So that sounds more like it would need to be like a community solar, or even a ground mounted solar kind of question. We're SoulSmart is more focused on larger policies and programs that would help benefit solar at a whole level.
What do you think would be more palatable for people you would be community-based solar for a solution, or changing regulations such that we can make ground mount more, change the regulations we have around that so you can place it better around your yard? I guess I'm kind of just picking on you because I know you you are in a situation where you want solar, but it doesn't work for you.
I think there's some confusion here, and I've run into it a couple of times. When I talk about community solar, I mean the town has a piece of property. It's willing to rent that property to members of the community, citizens. You find a company, they put in the solar, and you get a piece of it according to whatever your needs are. That's what I'm talking about.
Like a community garden kind of thing.
Yeah. And you're not talking about that, right, Mr. Goldsmith? You're talking about a solar field that the town owns and gets its electricity from. Is that what you're talking about more?
Well, so for SoulSmart, I'm talking more about our program that kind of takes a lot of actions around solar and kind of puts them together so that they're more integrated so that the community as a whole can be recognized as a leader in solar writ large. So including things like, updating permitting or inspection processes, things like aligning zoning with your best practices. And that can include, procuring solar on for either, municipal operations or community folks. And we can, point you guys in the right direction for, what practices and models might be best for you guys if you wanted to do community solar or, put solar on your on a rooftop or on your municipal buildings. Ultimately, that would be your choice. And we're not going to force you to put solar anywhere. And ultimately you guys would have to be the ones to work with the solar developers and figure out how best to do that. But we can certainly provide you with information and, guide you in the right direction for that. But we wouldn't be the ones like designing a system or operating or figuring out exactly how you would do it on your town budget end or things like that. We're SolarSmart is more about making sure the community is a leader and is thoughtful and has the best policies possible for solar, writ large.
Would you help us with grant proposals?
I potentially, depending on depending on the grant and depending on the level of technical assistance we can give you. I can't guarantee that though. Because our designation system is and our technical assistance is geared towards our designation, which is focused around taking actions that make sense kind of together to make solar to promote solar for the community. I hope that was a reasonable answer to your question. So kind of going forward into kind of the structure of the program and how exactly, we go through the designation process. So we start at the commitment letter. The SolarSmart commitment letter, is just saying that you're going to be a part of the SolarSmart program and that you're going to work towards a designation level. We have 4 designation levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. They build on each other and are designed to show what level of effort as well as level of actions that a town or a community has taken in order to promote solar. It's different levels. So each designation level has certain prerequisite actions that we require from each community, as well as a requirement for a number of points spread across 5 different categories. That includes permitting, inspection, planning and zoning, government operations, community engagement, and market development. So across a number of different points, and each community has their own different path to designation. Even there are certain actions that every community has to do, but other than that, you just have to fulfill the number of points as SolarSmart has designated. So as I just mentioned, there are 4 designation levels going in order from bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Bronze is the lowest level that requires 3 prerequisites plus 60 points in total for actions. Silver is our second highest level and builds on bronze and as well as requires other prerequisites and requires 100 total points. Gold builds on silver, requires extra prerequisites and 200 total points. And then finally, platinum, which we introduced this year, requires meeting all the requirements of the designation levels before, plus 350, plus its own prerequisites and 350 total points. Currently, there are no SolarSmart Platinum communities, although that may be changing soon. We just introduced this year for communities that may have already achieved gold and are really, the eager and want to do even more. Just I'm going to briefly kind of go through some of the requirements. So the bronze prerequisite, the lowest level, and really, I think the most important level, because it's about providing transparency. So there's 3 prerequisites for that. One is your SoulSmart commitment letter. The second is an online checklist detailing required permits and submittals and whatever you have to do to get a solar array through a permitting process. And the third prerequisite, which goes to something you were saying earlier, Dan, is reviewing zoning requirements. Now, once you commit to SoulSmart, what will happen is that I will let my supervisors know, and they will, on their end, initiate a zoning review as well as a baseline assessment. So the baseline assessment, it's going to take a look at whatever information is available online that they can find and see how that fits into our SoulSmart criteria. So you're not starting from zero. You will, because, what I've seen so far, you will come in with certain amount of points because you've already been, Southampton has already taken some actions to promote solar in its community. So we'll come in with that. Additionally, some of the zoning experts at ICMA will take a look at your zoning code and see how it aligns with established best practices. And because you already have some solar language there, I'm sure they'll have a lot to work with. But they will compile that memo. They'll look at that memo, and then all you need to do is take a look at the memo and sign saying that you looked at it. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to, do anything in line with what they're saying. You just have to, in order to get this requirement, you just have to say that you looked at this memo. And so in addition to these prerequisites, you have to have 60 total points for designation. So moving on from that, there's silver. Going to go a little quicker now. That silver is just going through, you have to do all the bronze stuff as well as train permitting inspection staff on best practices, as well as codify or clarify about solar as a permitted accessory use. You may have already done that actually through your solar documents, and posting a solar landing page that has goals, educational materials that can help folks get resources about solar in their community.
That's where you come in, Dan.
Yes. And that requires 100 points in total. Some of these prerequisites actually do have point values. So you'll get actually, if you do these prerequisites, they will actually count towards that point total. Gold, that's meeting all bronze and silver plus some extra prerequisites, including confirming 3-day business turnaround for rooftop solar, codifying accessory use solar in your zoning language, and not having intentional or unintentional barriers. And again, 200 points in total. And then finally, platinum, which is even more than that. It includes using instant software for instant and automatic approval, posting community metrics, installing PV on a local government facility, and establishing partnerships with community-based organizations for solar equity, and 350 points in total. So know that I just threw a lot of information at you. There's a lot to consider and to think about. What designation levels you might be interested in, what actions you might be interested in. But where we are kind of in the process is we are here at the consultation call. The next step would be to submit your written commitment saying that you're going to go through the Soul Smart program if you choose to. If not, totally understand. And then after you submit the written commitment, the technical assistance would start. I cannot provide you with technical assistance unless you commit to the program and say you are going to go through Soul Smart and achieve a designation level. I will be happy to follow up through this call with resources and as well as these slides so that you have it on your end, obviously. In order to move forward, I would have to get that commitment letter.
Just to jump in and say what that means from our committee level. So from our committee, that means that after we've had a chance to take all this in, we discuss it. If we vote to move forward with this, then we'd move it on to the planning board and the select board for their approval and to adapt. And if we say we want to do it, then I can take it and push it in both of those directions. So just wanted to let everybody know what we do. Sorry.
No worries. And just for the commitment level, we ask that whoever signs it, it can be it could be the head of your planning department, could be local council, could be mayor, whatever you guys feel is appropriate, as long as they have the authority to direct people to do Soul Smart things. That's fine with us. So yeah, that's all we require. And if you're interested, obviously you're interested in learning more, we have our resources page as well as our program guide, which is a really great resource. And actually, let me just pull it up. Sorry for all the tabs I've opened. It happens. So I would really highly recommend, as you're looking through Soul Smart, to go through.
Are you showing us something right now? Because I don't see it. Like, did you click on something?
Are you?
I see the presentation still. So
maybe
your
presentations here.
Yeah, maybe it's like stuck in presentation view or whatever. Happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Can you see?
Oh yeah, there we go. There's a lot of tabs. Holy.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I'm bad at it. I'm bad with tabs. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So this is our program guide. This is kind of the Bible to Soul Smart. Has everything I just explained here, everything I just talked about with Soul Smart, including all the designations, as well as an overview of all of the potential criteria you could work towards. And as you can see under each the prerequisite for each level are helpfully kind of color coded according to their level, as well as the actions that are optional and that you can pick and choose from in order to get to your point totals. And each action has a particular point value associated with it that you would add up in order to reach a certain point. Point value. And so this is when I say that, every community has their own pathway to Soul Smart, to being designated. This is what I mean. You can, after doing the prerequisites, there are all these different actions that you can choose from that may align with what you're particularly interested in, with what Southampton has already done or wants to do. And so it's really, your choice about what to pick. And I'll happily help you through any pathway and with actions that you want to. And so with that,
could I have a question on that? So
yes,
is the sales pitch to my people, I have to kind of get to sign off on this, that if we agree to this program, getting help to satisfying any of the criteria in that list is something that you would help us with.
Mm-hmm.
Is that It like that is that the elevator pitch?
The pitch is that we can help you be recognized, take actions to promote solar in your community, and be recognized for doing that. And we'll be happy. And there are a bunch of actions that correlate with many different priorities. And so, as you identify which actions you want to do, we'll be happy to help you with that. Again, we're not necessarily able to design a solar system or design a solar array for you. Right.
Yep.
But we can, give you resources that may help you as you're looking towards certain actions. We can give you resources, particularly around permitting and zoning and things that you might have control over, and can help further improve or reduce barriers. You guys will be recognized once you reach a certain point. You guys would be recognized as a Soul Smart Bronze or Silver or Gold or whatever community. You can put it on your website. You'll get a nice plaque that you can put somewhere if you want to. And you can generally say that you are a leader in solar in your community, that you have good policies, that you've worked with somebody to implement best practices.
Okay, so it could encourage businesses who are looking to have a green environment, provide green energy to move into our community based on it, or people who want to have that type of living environment as well. So I see that's the benefit to the community. It's sort of we are recognized to a certain level to support solar and such that when people are looking potentially to move here, they can see that and be like, oh, wow, that's a selling point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
On the flip side, if Southampton's motivated to get these Soul Smart ratings, why does Soul Smart want Southampton to do that? Like, what's your incentive as a company?
Well, we're not a company. We are we're a program funded through DOE. And there's no one Soul Smart company. It's an initiative with a bunch of nonprofits, that work together to provide this technical assistance service. So our motive is helping local governments. We're not in here making money. We want to help local governments at across the country promote solar. We think solar is a good. We believe in the clean energy transition. We think that solar is something that folks should have if they want to. And we want to help folks do that. And the Soul Smart program was founded because people recognize that at the local level, there can be these barriers, right, to getting Soul Smart, getting solar through, permitting, through zoning, and these things that unfortunately can deter people. And so we wanted to help change that. DOE wanted to, change that. That's what we're in it for. May sound too good to be true, but I swear, we are funded through DOE, no cost. We're not even a real company. Yeah.
You pay for your taxes, right? There you go.
Yeah, indirectly,
Yeah.
some minuscule percentage of maybe going to us. Any other questions?
You showed a slide of Massachusetts and the 15 or 25 towns. Is it more, how big is it outside of Mass? Is it the full country? Are they roughly around the same rates, or Northeast is bigger?
I will show you our map. We have a nice designee map of all of the communities that have worked with Soul Smart. Let me pull it up. So we have communities in 43 states that have worked with Soul Smart. We've worked with communities from like New York City and DC, really big metro like areas, Boston, down to in very, very small jurisdictions and towns. The smallest town that is SoulSmart designated, I believe, is less than 200 people. And yeah, so we are all over the map across 43 states, I think. And yeah, as you can see, we actually, I think our biggest concentration is in the Midwest with solar. But we have a bunch of, obviously communities in the Northeast, West, South. We want to get more in the Gulf Coast area, but yeah, so we're all over.
Mm-hmm. Except the Dakotas.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think we gotta get more in the Dakotas. I want to get Fargo on that list.
Here you go.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions, what will happen next from my end is I will send you guys a follow-up email, not tonight, but probably sometime tomorrow morning, with the information or with the slides that I presented, as well as some other information, including the program guide and the template for the commitment letter. You will see that SoulSmart has a lot of templates. So you just have to, for a lot of things, you'll just have to fill in after your actions have been done. And so if you decide to go through with SoulSmart, fantastic. You would fill out that commitment letter. And then after I get that, we would start technical assistance. If not, totally understand. One of the things I say for SoulSmart is that, SoulSmart recommends stuff that's good for solar, but what's most important is what's good for the community at the end of the day. So whatever you guys decide, all good. I'll just follow up with the resources and you guys figure out what you want to do from there. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, any last minute pressing questions? All right. Well, with that, I'm finished. I don't know if you guys have more to discuss tonight, but I'm done. And with that, I guess I can go.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks,
for your
Ian.
time.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Real pleasure. Hope to work with you throughout the next while for SoulSmart.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks.
Have a great night.
Bye.
All right. That's a lot of information. Do we want to talk about anything tonight or kind of just absorb it? Talk about it next
Read
time.
over the information.
Did anybody read the guidebook prior to the call at all?
No.
47 pages of dense content.
Yeah.
Perused it. I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
What I did do is, not knowing he would send the slides, I went into college mode and took down notes
Wow.
and screenshots. So at least we'll have it tonight that we can review it. And if he doesn't send it tomorrow, we'll have something to go off of. So
Nice.
that's that.
My thoughts were that I think that starting out, if they are going to we'll give free guidance to review our planning board, our zoning bylaws and our language, which is non-binding, for free. That seems like a nice thing.
I mean, what's the downside, right? We don't have to do anything if we didn't want to.
That's what I heard. Yeah, it doesn't cost us anything. The only thing it costs us is our I'd say our planning board advisors' time.
We got to be careful because it is a commitment, and somebody's got to do it. And we don't have a planning board. I mean, a planning department. We have a planning board that's all volunteer, and I can tell you, in the past, stuff like this can be a real pain in the ass. So we need to be careful. And I, personally, just having some designation, I don't know. If we're going to get some money for it, or somehow we're going to be on the top of the heap. Maybe that's what we become, but it's just a commitment, and we need to keep after this. And
yeah, is it really worth it if it's just a plaque? It's like, I mean,
right. Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, I mean, if we can get, I mean, we do a pretty damn good job on this stuff. I can assure you from the building department, man, the number one permit that we put out these days is solar. We do more solar work than just about anything. Well, Dan Breen knows because he's got it on his house. And we turn these permits around within about 2 days. I mean, all this stuff's online. You can fill out the application. You can pay by credit card. This happens very, very quickly. And I think we have some pretty darn good bylaws, at least the ones I looked at that came out of. And we got burnt, right? We got a couple of these clowns. There's one right down on Fulmer, not far from my house, where this dude just put up a ground mount right in his front lawn. And every day I go by it, I look.
Oh, I know that house.
Yeah, I go by and I look at it and say, "Holy Christ!" Well, from that point on, we got religion real quick and put the bylaw together, and which we stole from somebody else, but it's pretty good.
I wonder then if we have to do anything to get bronze.
It'd be almost automatic from the way I quickly read it there. Yeah, we could get it real quick, I think.
Yeah, because the stuff's way over my head, so I'm not saying I'd be able to spend any time getting there. So somebody would have to. So I'm not going to volunteer anybody else's time. But if we read through it and it's like, oh well, we're pretty close to bronze. We spend a couple hours to get there. Maybe that's worth it. But otherwise, yeah, like you said, it's just the plaque.
I wish they could say like, oh, if you have this designation, then you qualify for this grant or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I do think there are, like, my company is looking to becoming net zero by 2030. So there are companies out there that want to live in, or not live, be in municipalities or towns that provide ability to provide green energy. So yeah, it may encourage businesses to come to town. I don't know. I can't say that. I can't make that direct connection, but it could. But yeah, I wish it was like, oh yeah, not it's like kind of a hurdle for something to qualify for.
Yeah, I can certainly see if you were just starting off, a small community that had no idea what the heck was going on. This would be fabulous. You could walk right into it and get all this stuff done literally overnight through their templates and everything else. But like I said, we're pretty far along. I mean, we have a major solar field right off of Old County Road. An Eversource field that they were bad boys and they violated the what do you call it, the wetland.
They paid for that,
but we ended up with something like $80,000. Thank you very much for that fine, and the DOE gave us the money, and the Conservation Commission has been using it quite extensively. So we've got experience. I don't think many of the other communities around here are even close.
How about this? What if we say that we would allow to suggest this to the planning board, to let the planning board see if this is something they want to take on, because I think it's mostly it'd be under their in their wheelhouse because of the bylaw changes would occur there. Maybe that's the kind of like the next small step, instead, because we can't really commit. It's not our time. It's their time. So
yeah, no, I think it's a good start. They got probably more skin in the game. You guys have more skin in the game than anybody else. Yeah.
And I think I'm just thinking off the top of my head on what I know of our bylaws in terms of solar, and I think getting a bronze is going to be. I'm probably regret saying it's going to be easy, right? We'll see.
I mean, you make the commitment. Well, what I'm just saying, oh, the heck with it. We're not going to do it now. I mean, what do? They flash stuff all over the internet saying that damn Southampton. I mean, I don't know what the ramifications are if you sign up and then you can't deliver or don't want to deliver. I imagine it's just I don't know. I guess we'll have to read the fine print.
I guess I am more interested when I looked at some of the silver levels. They say they're not going to help you design a solar field or do municipal solar. Some of the points there were for those things. So if they want to be assistance in figuring out how to make that happen, then that is free work for us. So
that's a good start, Dan. I agree with you. Bring it in front of Paul and the folks, and of course yourself, and see how they handle it.
All right. So is that our make a motion? I'd like to make a motion that the technology committee make a recommendation to the planning board to review the information proposed by SolSmart and consider the application for the bronze level certificate.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, perfect. Great. All right. I think that closes that topic, unless anyone has anything else. That little note in my notes is garbled just when I show it. But so the next thing is to review the previous minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review them? Was there any
approve as written?
Okay.
Second.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Didn't even have to say anything. Does anyone not approve? Okay. All right. So reports from the subcommittees now. So MLP and fibers first up. If there's anything. Nothing. Okay.
It's still with Ed.
Yeah, I know.
It's
we did get an email though with an article from you, Dan.
Oh right, Hamden, Mass.
Yes, that was quite eye-opening. Did everyone just get a chance to read that? We don't have to necessarily discuss it. Okay.
Yep.
All
One
right.
of the things I found interesting was that the television provider actively promoted against it, if that's a way to say it. So
They don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
Lose the monopoly. Yeah.
So interesting. Something we'll have to be cognizant of.
Yep. It's corporation. Anyway, I could go down a rabbit hole on that. I'll just include that as the note that we talked about, that article.
Is this something that we would end up going through, that vote would need 2/3, or is that just if we needed a certain bond or whatever?
Yeah, so they were going for money at that point. So they had worked out, I forget which city, I believe. So they were moving on to that stage, and yeah, it didn't pass. So. And that actually, they have I checked out their town had made this very extensive website. We should probably steal it. And they get if we ever want to make one that was kind of just like informational, because they had a 200K grant for the study. And one of the questions I have is how did they get 200,000 to do the study? And I wasn't able to find that. If they came from their own money or ARPA money or wherever, whatever color money. But they did have that, and part of it was building a website for public, like information to educate the public about the benefits. So, yeah.
All right. Anything else on that?
I've been meaning to add. I was hoping maybe Ed knew someone in Hampton, Mass, like the government of Hampton, who could ask them, because like,
Yeah.
hey, where did you get the 200K? If it's, if there's some state grant that we could also apply for that just to do the feasibility part of it, that'd be great.
What are we calling it again that Ed needs to submit?
He was calling a RFI, request for information.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so that still hasn't been worked on.
Hasn't gone out. It's on his to-do list.
All right. All right. So next up on our to-do list is Novus Insight.
A lot of activity on this end. Everything is all ported over to the new server. We had issues, the usual type stuff of copying data back and forth, and the Monday after this was done over a weekend, and the Monday people came in and they were shocked. Everything was just spinning and spinning and spinning, and it was just getting all the data taken care of. So there are some issues still, but they pretty much have taken care of all the major ones, and we've had no issues in the building department and other departments that I looked at. Nobody's come to me, and they generally do when they have problems. One problem we did find, just as an aside, we got called from Novus that the backup software, the Veeam software, was not working, and they wanted to know what the heck was going on. And it looked like we had an electrical glitch. It was one of these little transient type situations. It was kind of really strange, but it wasn't enough to kick on, I guess, the in-house. It's not in-house; it's outside generator, but enough to. And I get those in my house, especially in one room. I'll be damned if one of these days I'm going to get my oscilloscope on it and try to figure it out. But the same thing happened here. So. Come to find out, I went down and take a look at it, and the kid from Nova saying, what's happened? Where's the ups? Where's the uninterruptible power supply? And I go down, and whoever installed this device, which is nothing more than its own computer, the Veeam hardware, was just plugged into the wall, not into the ups. So, we should have not had a problem here, but we did. So today, and of course we couldn't do anything because the kid was on taking Thanksgiving off, and you have to go through the protocol and you have to wait and coordinate it with the folks down there. So that Ed did that today. They paused the backup. And he moved it over to, and we have two ups in the box, and so we had all the equipment. I to this day I can't believe that they installed it and stuck it into a wall socket and not into the ups. So silly things like that. Now we did get the quote for what's going to be as far as maintenance. I think it's damn high. We're talking, and I'm old timer here, so maybe it's just the way it goes. But we're talking 30,000 plus for the maintenance, the daily 24/7 type maintenance. And then there's another 12, 14,000 for, some of the stuff you were asking for, Megan, as far as stuff for COA, expanding the network, et cetera, et cetera. So we're starting to push almost 50K for this deal. And I don't see that coming out. I looked at Dan, I think the select board's going to have a heart attack when they get, but let's sort of keep this quiet, because I don't know. Ed's got the quote just like I did, and he's not saying anything yet, and I don't think he's brought it to the select board. My recommendation is we got to get this out to the real world and get some real quotes here. I was not impressed with what I saw. It just seemed like a lot of money for very few computers. I mean, but again, I'm sort of old school and thinking the old days. So my recommendation would be to get it out to Northeast IT, all the other firms in the area, and get some real life quotes here, because they can do it just as well as Novus. And on the other hand, probably better, because, and here's a good example. Oh, we'll send up somebody, well, okay, somebody to take a plug out of the wall and put it into UPS is kind of silly, which we did ourselves. But it may have been something more, more important, like replacing a disk drive or something of that nature. So it still would be nice to have somebody closer to home. I know they'll say all this stuff. Oh, we can get up there in such and such time, but that's just my thoughts. So that's about it. We're pretty much done with Novus as far as the installation, and I think the only area, and I'm belaboring this, but the only area that's still a concern is the treasurer collector's office. That's such a boondoggle in there. I've been trying to straighten that out for years, and and they're finally recommending that we have a managed switch in there, and that's the way to go. But it's just crazy. You got to turn on one computer to work on the other one, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth. There's new software going in there, new financial software, as I think all you folks know, Vader, whatever the heck it's called. But that's not going in until July, which is freaking me out. I don't understand why the heck it's waiting till July, but it's the usual. I guess we didn't have the money, and we couldn't have gone and I mean, the treasurer collector's office ready to put it in like right now. It really helped them a great deal. But I'm getting off subject here. So that's my recommendation, that we send this to the select board once Ed is talked to, and see if we can't get this out and get some quotes. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Recommendation. So I know you wanted to keep it quiet, but the maintenance for 30 grand and the 20 grand, that was for the year. That was
that's a year
service line.
Yeah, it's like $2,500, $2,800 a month. So
okay.
It seemed like a bit much. These laptops, this 365, I don't see any problems at all. I mean, this has been smoother than heck. Maybe a desktop has some problems once in a while, but the laptops work quite well once we got over all the installation. So.
Okay.
Well, you're more expert on that than Megan than we are. So if you think that's kind of too much, then I'm certainly going with you.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too much, but
I mean, Megan, I wouldn't comment. I think that your company should be something that one that bids on this work. So
No.
I think I could say that unbiasedly.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
For me to bid or not bid?
To bid.
Don't comment, but bid on it. Yeah. And maybe want to recuse yourself of anything else as far as this is concerned. That was my mistake.
If I excuse myself, can I comment?
What?
I wouldn't comment.
Oh, okay.
Not unless you're not thinking about bidding.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do that, only because I do deal with like residential and very small business, plus the whole conflict of interest of potential could come down on me.
But it doesn't in some ways, because the select board's going to make the final decision. We're just recommending that we go out and they go out and bid this job. But Dan's right. You need to be careful. But I certainly would hope that you would bid on something like this. And this is a small business. It's $20 million a year. But it's still small. I mean, there's not that many computers to deal with. So
yeah. Okay.
But your call.
Food for thought, I suppose, for me. Thanks for the recommendation, I guess. All right. So yeah. All right. Sorry, that just kind of took me back. Phone system. Auto attendant. Has anyone called after hours to see if it's set up?
Is it set up?
It hasn't changed.
Ed mentioned at the last select board meeting that he's just looking for a voice. He has a script.
Well, I think he said it was recorded.
Oh.
He just had to. Well, I thought maybe I misunderstood him.
But you got to get the telephone number and all that together, right? Somehow broadcast that to everybody.
Sounds like that's still open.
All right. Auto attendant still in progress. Realized I'm not sharing my screen, but I'll do it at the end and go through stuff.
David? Were you talking?
Yeah, for some reason I'm my speakerphone's out of sync with Zoom here, but I think if we have the recording, then it's just a matter of getting it to Chris from Valley Communications, and the TPX folks can just basically insert that as ahead of that main number or tied to that main number. So if we have the recording, I'll be happy to spearhead that. I just haven't seen anything back saying it's recorded.
Right. I just checked the last minutes and it does just say still in progress. So I could be remembering that incorrectly. Yeah, if we can get it recorded, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I think it's been like a 6-month task. So, all right. So
we can just draw straws and one of us will be the voice of Southampton.
Yeah. I did it for Heritage a long time ago. All right, so brainstorm and discuss other future topics, final site mobile app and notifications. I just included the last one and put it in the agenda. Is there anything to discuss on that? Okay. But
nothing's moved forward, or we haven't done anything with it. So
nothing new. Library conference room upgrade.
So yeah, we had the opportunity to meet with Joanna from the library director, as well as eMedia, Mr. Mastriani, Jeff, right? And go over what they would like that space to be used for. They were talking about, as you come into the library on the right, it's this conference meeting room. It's a flex space they use for a lot of different purposes. What we landed on is one piece of technology that would really help the library. It's sort of like a modern day version of, if you remember back in school, they had the cart with the VCR and they push it around to the different classrooms. One of those, like a television on a cart, so that when they want to show a show or a movie or something to the people in that room, they can push it in there. If they want to use it in a different part of the library, they could. Also, if it has the capability of connecting to a Zoom session or something, where people can use their laptops to connect to it to present something for a meeting, it would give the space more capabilities. eMedia had something on the lines of it'd be like $1,800 in cost, so not too expensive. So they already had used. The other important part of the conversation is I think we opened the door between eMedia and Southampton and the lot, especially through the library. eMedia's had trouble making inroads to the community in terms of explaining what they do for public access, not only public access, but also for their ability for people to use their video editing. They have a studio. They have a lot of media equipment, and so one of the things that they've been working on is how to communicate what they offer better to Southampton. So I think Joanna and Jeff started that conversation, and they may have some type of like intro to video editing class or something offered at the library now. So I think it's the start of something. So that was also a good side output of that meeting. But I think we have as a technology committee have the action. I sent an email off to the grants committee asking them, hey, is there any way to pay for a television on a cart? So I think that's the next thing. So if someone's interested in running that, feel free. I don't know, Dan, if you want to do that.
But I haven't even been to the library yet.
Well, there's your reason to go to the library.
I can't do that kind of stuff. It's so over my head.
Okay, just thought I'd offer. David, if you're interested, or Art, just throwing it out there. Oh, I mean, okay.
We can work on it together. We've met with them, so
we have met them. Yep. So yeah, that's an interesting project. So
I think at this point it probably just kind of ends up in Joanna and Jeff's hands to work on it, but we can be the facilitator to check in and kind of make sure everything's on track.
Yeah, no, I think we as the committee still have the action about the grant part of it. Because I had sent an email over to that other committee, to ask them if they have any advice. So we have to close that loop, I guess you'd say.
Okay. Yeah, I found the quote. It was close to $1,200 for a soundbar mounting bracket, Apple TV, Vizio television 65-inch, and the rolling TV cart.
No Laserdisc player?
Actually, that was asked about. A DVD player, and he said, well, not really.
I mean, Laserdiscs, the pre-DVD. That's what they were wheeling around when I was in school.
So no, that wasn't brought up actually. The DVD was. That wasn't included in the quote though. Yeah, so Dan and I will kind of just work on the project. Anything else to comment on for that?
Other than the fact that we just missed Black Friday for that TV deal.
Mm-hmm.
We're still there.
Yeah, I guess Cyber Monday.
Yeah. Oh, where'd Dan go? Must have got cut off. All right, so Senior Center, Council on Aging, Internet, Wi-Fi connection. That
we have the quote. Yeah.
Yeah. Quote from what was it? I can't imagine it'd be that much.
Well, some of that's consultation at, X number of dollars per hour. And there's two
Right.
levels of that. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, wow, I'm back in the corporate world again.
Yeah. Let me see. So I'll just put received quote from Novus Insight. Solar and community solar, just say see above regarding Soul Smart presentation. Do we ever talk about Microsoft Teams versus Zoom?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. That's something. It's too bad Dan's not on, but maybe Megan, you can do some with the minutes. We certainly can go over to that and use it in place of Zoom. I don't know how much money we pay Zoom for all the meetings and such. Obviously, we'd need somebody internal to drive this, just like Judy does the Zoom.
Mhm.
And it would be obviously some work as far as getting committees and all the folks on board of how to operate teams. But it certainly could save a few bucks, and we're always wanting to save some money. So something that how I would do it would be to assign somebody in the town hall to sort of own this project, and Judy might be a good choice. Maybe it's Lucy Dalton or somebody to drive this and convert over to this, which we already pay for, and it comes basically for free.
Mm-hmm. Do we know if external participants can join?
Yes, we've checked into that. At least according to Novus, yes, we can.
Okay.
As long as it's started in house, basically use
the account.
Yeah, use the account. Novus does it for other has told other organizations that they can do it, and they've had no trouble. So again, that just to let Dan know, that would save some money and get us off of Zoom.
Great. Okay.
So I brought that up to Chris Fowles, and she told me that only people who have full accounts, it would work for, like full Microsoft accounts it would work for, like not people with just emails. So I don't know if that's somehow
as long as it's
confusing
set up,
or I don't know.
Yeah, set up and under a total Microsoft account, which we've got a bunch of those, right? And right in the building in town hall. Mm-hmm. So any one of those accounts can facilitate this. This is according to Novus. I'm no expert on this, but they said they've looked into it, and Microsoft says, "Yep."
Yeah,
I think there's slightly, based on the type of licensing that you have, there's different features tied to Teams, like whether you can schedule meetings, whether you have an external call-in number and stuff like that. A lot of that has license tiers, but I think anybody with Office 365 will at least have the ability to log in through Teams and probably schedule at minimum internal meetings.
Yeah, but the Novus was talking external also. So, and according to them, we did have the right licensing. So again, something to look into.
Makes sense.
It would save some money. And I know Dan is always looking to save money.
Save your money. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, would it be easy enough to have, Ed or somebody else who has one of those licenses just to schedule a meeting and send it externally, like we would for this group or something? Just send it to Gmail accounts and non-town accounts. Just make sure we have no issues.
That's a great idea.
And maybe somebody on a Mac can join, or possibly even mobile, just to confirm that works.
Whoa.
Thank you, Dan.
Tell
Send and Microsoft.
him that if he sends it to you or me or both, we can help him post some news to the website again.
All right. A little incentive. Outside town. Emails. Okay. Dan L, I saw you already emailed 2 people during the meeting. Do you mind emailing Ed about the Microsoft Teams link?
Sure. Yeah.
Right, thank you. All right. If there's nothing else, I have 1 or 2 things actually. So I don't know if I'm technically supposed to ask about this on public, but I can't discuss it anywhere else because of open meeting law. Capital improvement requests. I've never filled one out. Can I have some help? All right, thanks, Dan.
What? Yeah, just I don't know, either set up a time where you want to meet or a Zoom call, whatever you want. That works out in terms of time, and we'll fill out the paperwork.
All right, yeah, because Ed sent it to me, and I was like,
and I think I responded that I would help you, and then never helped. So
yeah, I didn't know if anyone else had experience too. That's why I asked at the meeting. I wasn't slighting you. So.
Oh, does anybody else want to volunteer?
Does anyone else have experience?
I would have to look it up first.
Okay. Okay, that's due December 22nd. Before Christmas. All right. And then I think there was one other thing. I'm gonna get off this and I'm gonna say, oh shoot. That might have been it. All right. So we'll schedule a time. Thank you. Yeah. The next meeting, I don't know if we want to do it during the holiday season. Oh, there was something else. It was from Ed. It was the MBI, Massachusetts Broadband Community Survey, I think it was. I think he sent it out to everyone.
Yeah, we need to get involved with that. East Hampton somehow got the was already connected.
Yeah,
had their own meeting public with them. So
yeah, it was.
I want to have a meeting with them.
It was this email. I think he sent it to everyone. Yeah. Did anyone click on it and see the contents of it? The web page for documents and comment form. Let me see. So they're asking just for public comments, of course, based on their 3. The comment form itself is based on 3 of the articles. Looked at it briefly a little bit ago. Yeah, which document are you commenting on? The executive summary, statewide digital equity, or broadband equity? It's due December 15th, so we should probably work on it if we can. This is just us doing it, or do we have to hold a public comment forum?
But is it are we submitting this as individuals, or are we submitting this as this group?
I was probably going to do organization, if anything.
Did we put it in this minutes? In
the link, yeah.
Okay, so it's in there. It's in this meeting's notification.
Sorry, what?
You asked the question, do we have to hold a public meeting for it?
Yeah. Or can we just discuss it next meeting and kind of fill it out?
Well, my question is, if you put it into our notification for this meeting, that's public notification that we're having discussion about it. So we're going to fill it out. So you did notify the public that we are doing this. So if you want to do it now, we can, or you can put it again in next time's meeting, and we could do it then, whatever.
Yeah, it'll have to be for next time because I actually did not put it in the agenda. So I will make sure to do it for next agenda. Actually, December 11th is the next meeting. That's a good little segue. I actually won't be able to make that meeting. I will be at Hampshire Regional at the school committee meeting. So,
good luck with that.
Yeah. It's
I actually have a conflict for that date as well, so I wouldn't be able to make that.
Okay. Should we postpone the meeting to a different date then? And you can't do the first Concom or the first Monday because of Concom, right?
I'm off the Concom. I've resigned.
Oh, okay.
So you can have any day you want.
Let me look at. Let me see. December 4th? The first Monday for the one time, because then we'll miss Christmas Day as the second Monday or the fourth Monday.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
okay,
no
December
complaints.
4th. That works for everyone?
Yep.
Okay, great. When did you resign?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. So yeah, we'll work on the next I'll send it in tonight's minutes in the link or in the document. So I guess just review it loosely. Think of any comments that you might have. So can do it all next time. Is there anything else? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Does anyone not approve? Great. So it's 7:28. It's one of our longer meetings. Thanks for all being troopers. All right. Have a great night, and I'll see you December 4th.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.